Now on YouTube, it's time for some alternative commentary action with the Commentary Hub.
There's headed by Marina, and it's 2-1 to Arsenal.
Look for that point! Goal for Manchester City!
Takes this corner, whips it in, it's headed and it's a goal, and it's that man, Gabriel.
Liverpool have equalised. Lovely improvisational touch from Curtis Jones.
Oh, what a goal! Wow, take it out! Hello and good evening and welcome along to the Champions League nights here on the Commentary Hub. Tonight we're bringing you the playoff first leg clash between Fenerbahçe and Benfica, taking place at the Fenerbahçe Saracoğlu Spor Kompleksi in Istanbul, Turkey. Kick-off is in around 10 minutes time between Fenerbahçe and Benfica, and tonight we've got a match commentator who is very looking forward to this one. It's his first European night on the Commentary Hub. It's a warm welcome to the live stage to Nicholas Jones. And Nicholas, very good evening to you, my friend. Are you looking forward to doing this one this evening?
Yes, good evening, Ross. Very much looking forward to Fenerbahçe and Benfica. They're fairly evenly matched sides, although in recent times Fenerbahçe have conceded more than they've scored. Benfica, on the other hand, have been on a roll. They've won their last 5 friendlies, including a game against their rivals tonight. But Fenerbahçe drew in their opening Super League match, whilst Benfica won their opening match in the Liga Portugal, and domestically they're doing rather well, having won the league in recent years. They're also recent winners of the Portuguese Super Cup.
Yeah, so we saw them on the world stage, Nicholas, of the Club World Cup, Benfica. They performed well in that, Nicholas. Do you think there'll be a tough test for Fenerbahçe this evening?
I would say they are. I mean, given Benfica's experience in European competition, they won the Champions League or European Cup twice. So I say they could be a very stiff opposition. I mean, most of their midfielders and forwards are under 30. So this could be Benfica's side really could be one to watch out for. The only player over 35 in the squad is veteran Argentine international Nicolas Otamendi, who we remember from winning the World Cup in 2022.
Yes, and our English viewers will probably remember him from playing in the Premier League as well with Manchester City. He is a brilliant central defender who's set to like for Benfica this afternoon. Looking at some of the players in the Fenerbahçe side, some players that people will probably remember. Milan Skriniar playing for the Inter Milan. There's also Jan Duran, should I say, who played for Aston Villa. And Nesri played in the World Cup for Morocco. There's also Fred, who played at Manchester United along with Sofyan Amrabat. Nelson Semedo, formerly of Wolves. And people remember one of the people on the bench who just played Leicester City, Carlos Soyuncu, Cengiz Ünder. So some big names on the bench as well. They'll probably remember both managers as well in terms of the Fenerbahçe boss, Jose Mourinho, from his time in England and Real Madrid and Porto, and also former Wolves boss Bruno Lage in charge of Benfica. So there's some big names on show tonight, Nicholas. Do you think we could see a draw this evening in a cagey affair, or do you think one team will come out on top? And if so, which team do you reckon that could be?
Well, Well, it could be occasionally fair, but I'm just looking at their recent head-to-head statistics now, and in qualifying, and the last time they faced each other in qualifying, Benfica won on aggregate 2-1. Benfica haven't won. Benfica haven't won at this. Benfica haven't won at this stadium for quite a while. So a win for them. So a win for them would definitely be a box worth ticking. So in terms of matches played at this stadium, Fenerbahçe, I would say, are the top. Fenerbahçe, I would say, are the better chance. They did beat Benfica 1-0 in April 2013 in the Europa League final stages. But that was a different time. Benfica are surely a stronger side since then. So I would have to say the pendulum could well be swinging towards the Portuguese side, or the Eagles, I believe they're called.
Yes, absolutely, Nicholas, absolutely. Very much. That's approaching kick-off in this one then. Kick-off is coming up in around about 5 or so minutes time. So we've mentioned some of the key players to look out on in the Fenerbahçe side, some of the key players in the Benfica side. In the Lorenzo, who played at Juventus for a bit of time, is in the Benfica squad tonight. I'm not going to say whether he starts or he's on the bench. We'll have to find out very shortly. With Nicholas, we'll also bring you at half time the scores from the other games taking place this evening in the Champions League. Without further ado, let me hand you over to your match commentator ahead of kick-off for this big game tonight. Is Fenerbahçe against Benfica, taking place in the Fenerbahçe, Şükrü, Spor, Kompleksi in Istanbul, with the teams in the tunnel right now. Time to hand over to your match commentator, Nicholas Jones. Nick, the floor is yours. Good luck, my friend.
Thanks, Ross. So it's a beautiful night in this part of Istanbul. Fenerbahçe against Benfica. The match officials and the players standing behind in the tunnel, and Fenerbahçe wearing a yellow and blue striped shirt, and Benfica are all in red. And about to lead the side out for Fenerbahçe is the captain, number 37, Skriniar, and we will let you know who the Benfica captain is in just a moment. So everyone waiting for the signal. One or two players doing some last minute exercises. Just saw Fred do a couple of jumps, and everyone gets the all clear, and the players make their way out of the tunnel at the Fenerbahçe. I can't fully pronounce it, but for sponsorship purposes, it is known as the Ülker Stadium, as the referee takes the match ball to place it into the centre of the pitch, as the Champions League anthem rings around the stadium. And what a glorious sight it is! European football on the TC Hub is back, and it is all. And for us, it is always a great pleasure to cover games in the Champions League, the Europa League, and the Europa Conference League. Jose Mourinho, the head coach for Fenerbahçe, as you heard, and the players now standing inside the centre, now standing on the centre of the pitch as they observe the Champions League anthem. Such an iconic tune in not just football, but the world of sport, and bits of it are based on Handel's Zadok the Priest, which of course, as many people know, is used for coronation, which of course is used for coronation purposes for the head of state in England. It was used for the coronation of King Charles III 2 years ago. And so Benfica and Fenerbahce players shake their hands and also shake the hands of the match officials. So now we'll take a look at the team lineup, starting with Fenerbahce with Edri Bayat in goal. Then in defence is Oosterwolde, the captain Skriniar, Mulder, Brown, Fred, Amrabat and Semedo. The front four with Szymanski below, with Szymanski in the centre forward position. And Nesri and Duran are the two forwards. So what I can see is that I was about to say which formation they were, but it was all too quick. And we'll now observe our referee, Daniel Siebert of Germany. We've seen him around a fair few times. And his assistant referees are Jan Seidel and Dominic Schall. And on VAR, Christian Dingart and his assistant, Johan Pfeiffer. So we'll just wait for the Benfica lineups to come through. Szymanski, need I remind you, between Duran and N. Nesri. And Semedo, Amrabat, Fred and Brown in midfield. And the defenders are Mulder, Skriniar, the centre-back, and Oosterwolde. I should say. As Otamendi is the Benfica captain, just shook hands with... as we now take a look at the Benfica lineup with Trubin in goal. Then in defence, Dahl, Otamendi, Antonio and Florentino Barrenechea and Ricardo Rios at Turkoglu, Pavlidas and Arsunas are the forwards, and I've just worked it out. It was Richard Rios who is in there as well, and we have the lineup, and we now have the full lineups on the screen for your benefits as everybody gets ready to. And we are all set, for kickoff. So it will be Fenerbahce to kick us off. Bear in mind, as I get, just bear with me as I get everything, as I get everything all set up. So Fenerbahce to kick off with Archie Brown, and away we go then for this first round qualifier, for this playoff first leg match between Fenerbahce and Benfica. And the ball now being played down wing towards Mulder, but it goes over the line straight for a throw within 15 seconds. And so the ball now being rolled towards number 26 for Benfica. That was Dahl. Dahl tries to roll it out, but it was deflected away by Fenerbahce. Jose Mourinho standing with an expressionless look on his face, no doubt seen so many times over the years. And the ball now still with Fenerbahce. That was recently played forward by Amrabat. So Amrabat to Skriniar, back towards Amrabat. And Amrabat, Oosterwolde, I should say, but stolen by Benfica. Now on the ball for Benfica is Barrenechea on loan from Aston Villa. And the ball now still with, and the ball is still with Benfica. Ball now being played down towards their number 20, Richard Rios. Rios forwarded to Pavlidis, the Greek international. Now it's back with Pavlidis, and now being played forward, but saved by Edri Bayat, and that is the close. And that was a really good attempt by Benfica. Couldn't make out the person who tried to score. It might have been. Made up the person who tried to score. It might have been Rios, but we'll have to have another look as Bruno Lage walking around the stadium. He's pacing himself. So to take the free kick is Fenerbahçe, and it will be taken by Mulder. Mulder passing to Skriniar, almost taken by Benfica, but he did well to pass to Edri Bayat. Edri Bayat straight towards Archie Brown, the former. But the ball has been pushed over the line, and I think that was a foul on, and it might have been a foul on Brown, and it was Richard Rios that instigated that, and down went Brown. So now we resume play, and on the ball is Amrabat. Amrabat to I couldn't see who it was, but it's back with Skriniar. Skriniar. After 3 minutes, it's still Fenerbahçe 0, Benfica 0. And now on the ball is number 19, En-Nesyri, but retaken by Benfica. Sent up into the air by Skriniar. Now back down towards Skriniar, and straight and into the arms of the goal, and at the feet, I should say, of Edri Bayat. Edri Bayat passing to Skriniar. Skriniar now to Osterwolde. Osterwolde being hounded from behind by Pavlidis. Now back with Skriniar. Skriniar passing this time to the number 7. Now it's back with Skriniar. Now on the ball, now the ball is Semedo, almost taken by Dahl. Otamendi, but a foul on number 30. But a foul on the number 30. But a foul committed by Otamendi on number 10, Duran. So Otamendi clearly upset. He felt he was impeded. No cards given from what I can ascertain. Duran having a bit of a chat with the ref, trying to get his points across, but it doesn't look as though anybody is interested. And we're coming up to the 5-minute mark. It's still Fenerbahçe 0, Benfica 0. And the referee blows his whistle for a free kick, and to take the free kick is the number 53, Szymanski, but halted by Benfica, and a player has just been pushed over the line. It was number 17. It was number 17, Dedic. So it was Dedic with the ball, and he was just forced out of the way by Osterwolde, and that is a typical foul that you'd see in a European club competitions. Mix of a clash of tempers and personalities, one might say, as Truban takes the goal kick for Benfica, and as we look at the stats so far, Fenerbahçe have had 69% of ball possession in comparison to Benfica's 31. So it looks as though things could well be swinging towards Fenerbahçe, although remember, Benfica had that earlier attempt on goal just a few minutes back. It's Rios passing it to Dedic to Arsnes, but now the ball has been passed down to Otamendi. Otamendi crossing the ball forward over the halfway line. The ball has been pushed over the line, I should say, and on the ball was Luis to Dedic, And Luis has to pass back to Dedic. Dedic sensing that Pavlidis is there, but the defenders see to the ball, and that was a good interception by Brown, who won the 18-19 Premier League Under-18 Championship with Derby County back in the day. Throw-in taken, but has to be retaken, just as I was saying that. The ball is thrown to Silva. Silva passing the ball up the wing to number 5, and that's Barrenechea, but retaken by Brown. Brown not afraid to get stuck in, and he passes to Osterwolde. Osterwolde to Amrabat. Amrabat back to Brown. Brown now down the wing to Fred, and Fred passing rapidly to Szymanski. Szymanski now pressing the ball forward, and he did well to pass down the wing to En-Nesyri back towards, but it has to be forced back to Osterwolde. Osterwolde now on the ball for Benfica is number 14 Pavlidis, but Pavlidis has been pulled up by the referee for something. In fact, it wasn't Pavlidis, it was Luis. An incident on Dahl, and the referee clearly not happy about this. If Dahl doesn't watch out, he could well be given a yellow card. So a free kick to Fenerbahce, and after almost 9 minutes, it's still Fenerbahce 0, Benfica 0, as Szymanski raises his arm and takes the free kick. The ball was sailing towards Skriniar, but Benfica saw to that, and but nice re-interception by Semedo. Semedo on the left-hand side. The ball now being played back into Fenerbahce's defensive third, and on the centre is Skriniar. Skriniar passing to Osterwolde. Now back to Skriniar, and as Russ told you, we will let you know of any other scores during the half-time break. We've also got a couple of games in League One. We've also got a match in League One playing at the moment, and we've also got one from League Two. As on the ball still for Fenerbahce is Amrabat. Amrabat inside the centre circle. Amrabat with the bald head and the beard, and he's passing up the wing to Osterwolde. Osterwolde now back towards Amrabat. Amrabat does well to pass down the wing to Semedo, and the ball sent up in the air by Szymanski, and that could have been the opening goal for Fenerbahce. I'm now just going to have another look at it, but it was deflected away by Otamendi. So good defending by the Argentina international. Corner to Fenerbahce to be taken by Szymanski, the man who plays international football for Poland. And as Szymanski takes a couple of steps back, he raises his arm. The ball goes into the 18-yard box, but defended really well by Benfica. And it was almost given away to Amrabat, but retaken, I should say, by Aguias, who plays international football for Turkey. That was good. That was a good interception, but he was pushed in the back by Amrabat. I'd have to say that was probably just a normal incident. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments if you are listening. And to take the free kick straight away is Dahl. Dahl was aiming for Pavlidis, but it was retaken by Fenerbahce. Brown on the right, on the left hand, on the far left, and down into the penalty area goes Fred. Shots for a penalty. The referee says no, and the ball is still being passed around. Benfica on the ball is Luis. Luis down the wing to the captain Otamendi. Now it's with Kozlu. Over the halfway line it goes. Benfica trying to make their way to their attacking third. Back with Otamendi. Otamendi crossing down the wing, and it ends up with Dahl. Dahl to Pavlidis. Pavlidis almost tackled by the Fenerbahce captain Skriniar. Ball is still being passed around. Now it's with Otamendi. Otamendi passing quickly to their number 4, Silva, and it's Silva. Silva quickly passing to that was Kozlu, and almost sent in towards goal. Florentino Luis with the ball. It was actually Florentino Luis with the ball, and it was the man who pushed down Fred, and Fred clearly furious that a penalty was denied. But play still goes on. 14 minutes have been played. It's still Fenerbahce 0, Benfica 0. And on the ball still with Benfica is Dahl. Dahl to Luis. And Luis now passing rapidly to Rios. Back with Luis. And inside the centre circle was Barrenechea. Luis. And the ball now being passed around to Arsenes. Arsenes to Rios. Barrenechea. Pavlidis. Oh, and a good interception by Amrabat. And he did well to pass to Edri Bayat. Benfica still hungry for that goal. And down goes Duran, but the referee pays no attention. And the ball now being forwarded towards number 26 Dahl, but forced out of the way by the Fenerbahce defenders. Bruno Lage walking about the pitch, but he remains calm as Rios walks about as well, trying to keep himself composed. Goal kick to Fenerbahce. And to take the goal kick is Edri Bayat. So Edri Bayat strikes the ball out of goal. 52% possession for Fenerbahce, 48 for Benfica. And now on the ball is Pavlidis, but given away to Fenerbahce. Back with Benfica. The ball now being crossed down the wing to Dahl. Dahl just outside the penalty area. Passes back to Barrenechea. Now on the ball is Rios. Rios to Luis. Luis passes back to Barrenechea. Barrenechea to Dahl. Luis back towards Kozlu. Kozlu now makes his way into the penalty area and almost struck in by Pavlidis. That wasn't as close as Benfica's first attempt, but the goal mouth still yawning, gaping, and yet nothing comes in. That was the earlier foul by Luis on Duran, and Duran is clearly annoyed. Amrabat to Skriniar. Skriniar now passing to Osterwolde. Back towards Skriniar. In the central defence. He now enters the halfway circle. Passes the ball forward to Duran, but it goes back to Skriniar. Skriniar. Now it's with Skriniar. Now it's with Szymanski. Szymanski to Semedo. Amrabat. Amrabat to Fred. Fred. Brown. Brown now entering the penalty area. Tries to keep the ball, but he's forced away, and that will I'm sure result in a corner. It was clipped away by Dedić. Did Dedić make contact with Brown? Or in fact no, it was Arsenes who I think did it first. Then Dedić just ran into him. So that has clearly got to be a corner to Benfica, and Dedić definitely touched the ball before Brown did. And after 18.5 minutes, it's still Fenerbahce 0, Benfica 0. No corner given. I am surprised at this. I really am. And so it'll be Truban that will take the goal. I should have apologised earlier if I butcher any Turkish and Portuguese names. But the ball goes over the line, and it will be it was caught briefly by Brown, but he realised that it was to be a Benfica throw. So Dedić throws. Dedić to I couldn't see who it was. It was actually Silva. So the ball now cleared out of goal by Trubin. Almost sent towards Arsenes, but retaken by Benfica. Brown concedes to Benfica, and it goes over the line, and that will be a throw-in to Benfica. The ball is thrown to Luis. Luis passing to Barrenechea. Barrenechea to Silva. Now back with Barrenechea, and almost retaken by Fenerbahce. The last person to touch the ball in this instance was Fred, and Ricardo and Richard Rios wanted to have a chat with the referee, it seems. And in fact, I was mistaken. Szymanski and Fred involved at the same time. So free kick to Benfica, and to take the free kick is Aktakozlu. Aktakozlu forwarded to Pavlidis. Pavlidis still inside their attacking third. Still inside Benfica's attacking third, I should say. The ball is being slightly forced out of the way by Fenerbahce, but Benfica still managed to hold on. Russ and I did say this could go to a draw. It looks as though we could be right. But Benfica still aren't giving this one up. Although Fenerbahce retake the ball through Amrabat. Almost tackled again by Barrenechea. But Benfica aren't. But Fenerbahce aren't having this. And in fact, one of the Benfica midfielders has gone into the book. That was Barrenechea, and that was a bit of a rough tackle on Mulder, and he has to accept this. And he has to accept the yellow card, and it will be a free kick to Fenerbahce. Jose Mourinho looking as stern as ever. So it's Amrabat with the free kick, and the ball still being carried around, retaken but it was almost briefly had by Osterwolde, but the foul has happened just inside the centre circle and that was by Rios on Fred. Gustavulde. The ball goes down the wing, almost inside the penalty area, almost picked up by Duran, but well held by Benfica. The ball now being passed back to Edri Bayat in the Fenerbahce goal. Now on the ball is Skriniar. Crossing the ball forward to Brown. And now briefly caught, and the ball was almost caught by Duran, but cleared out of the way by the Benfica goalkeeper Truban, and it will be a free kick to Benfica. The majority of this Benfica side actually played in the squad that won last season's Portugal Liga. Otamendi passing to Florentino Luis, and the ball has been briefly stolen by Brown, but it was forced over the line, and it will be a throw in as down on the ground is En Nesiri. The referee comes over to see if he is all right. I think he's okay. He was probably just momentarily stunned, and that was a ball into the face. Can't see any sign of anything serious. If it was just a slight blow, I'm sure he will be okay. He looks fine to me, so that's good news for Benfica if he's able to carry on playing. And on the ball for Benfica is that was Dahl, and now the ball is being crossed forward by Benfica, but intercepted really well by Gustavulde. Gustavulde gives the ball away back to Benfica and Silva, but retaken by Amrabat for Benfica. And so Amrabat crossing the ball down the wing and further forward. Was almost picked up by Duran, but it goes over the line, and that will be a Benfica throw. So we're coming up to 25 minutes. We're just over half distance in the first half, and it's still Fenerbahce 0, Benfica 0. And that throw-in didn't go the way that Benfica wanted. So that Fenerbahce wanted. So it's now a Benfica throw. Dahl to take. Dahl throws to Silva, but he passed back to Dahl, and the ball was forced over the line by Fenerbahce. So it will be another. So it'll be another throw, and in fact it was Semedo who forced the ball over the line. Dahl, but given away to Amrabat, and on the ball was Skriniar. Fenerbahce have completed 109 passes. Benfica just 102, and there's nothing in it in terms of passes accuracy. Fenerbahce 87, Benfica 88, and on the ball for Benfica is Rios, but the ball is crossed over the line, and it will be a throw-in has been awarded to Benfica. Ball is now with Silva. Silva over the halfway line to Akçakoglu. Luis, and forwarded to Pavlidis. It's still with Pavlidis. Pavlidis down the wing to Dahl. But it's back with Dahl, and a player has gone down for Benfica. I have a feeling it's Silva, and one of the Fenerbahce players is going into the book. And in fact it was Baranechea who was given a yellow card earlier, and it's Duran who has been given the yellow card. He was very that was a very aggressive move, but is that worthy of a yellow card? I'm not too sure. I would say about 50. I would say it's about 50-50 sure, 50-50 not sure. But as I have often said once before, I'm not a fully qualified match official, so I can't tell. And the referee's decision is final, no matter what it is. As Ejri Bayat is ready for the game to continue. It's going to be a free kick to Benfica. Semedo and Szymanski make up the defensive wall, and to take the free kick is either going to be Saracoğlu or Rios. He waits patiently for the referee's whistles. He's just going to have a final talk with Amrabat, who we may remember, one of the players that featured for Morocco in the 2022 World Cup. And the referee signals and blows his whistle, and to take the free kick is Rios. No, and that's a well-timed effort by Saracoğlu. Almost sent in, but palmed over the line by Ejri Bayat, and that is really close by Benfica, but denied by Ejri Bayat's fingertips. Corner to Benfica to be taken by Saracoğlu. Saracoğlu waits patiently and kicks the ball into the penalty area. Almost sent in by an own goal by Fenerbahçe, but the ball was still inside the goal area, not over the line. So Fenerbahçe can breathe a sigh of relief. But I cannot deny that Benfica just keep getting closer and closer towards the goals. They just can't get past the Fenerbahçe defenders. On the ball this time is Arsnes. Arsnes to Luis. Baranechea down the wing to Otamendi. Otamendi crosses the ball forward to Dedić, but it goes back to Truban in goal. Now on the ball still is Benfica. That was by Dahl to Dahl, but it was intercepted by Osterwolde. And after 30 minutes, it's still Fenerbahçe 0, Benfica 0. This will be something, and the fact that it's still 0-0 with despite plenty of aggressive attacking, that's something for Russ and I to talk about over the half-time break. But as I talk to you, Benfica look like they're pressing on towards the goal. On the ball this time is Dedić. Dedić just outside the box, passing to Arsnes. So Luis back to Arsnes. Now Luis again. Otamendi to Rios. Arsnes, Otamendi back towards Arsnes. The ball was almost tackled by Fred, but he managed to hold on. It's still Benfica with the ball, not for long, and that was a really rough challenge by Amrabat. Amrabat with the foul. I'm just going to have another look at this, and that was a elbow in the back on Richard Rios, but no card given by the referee. I personally think he should have at least gotten a disciplinary warning, which I'm sure he has. As on the ball is Otamendi to Dedić, Arsnes to number 4 Silva. Now back with Dedić on the Dedic on the far side. That's the ball is being passed back and forth by Benfica. It's now on the near side with Barrenechea to Luis and Rios to Silva. Now back with Dedic. Dedic passes rapidly to Dahl, and it ends up at the feet of Truban. Truban forwards the ball out of the goal, but gives it away to Fenerbahce. It's Archie Brown on the ball on the far right side, on the far right hand side. He was almost inside Fenerbahce's defense. Fenerbahce's attacking third, but well-timed interception and halting by Benfica. So a throw-in to Archie Brown. As Brown stands behind the yellow line, he throws, and the ball is caught. By I think that was Mulder. Mulder back to Osterwolde. Amrabat inside the centre circle. He's over the halfway line now. Szymanski to Duran. Now it's with Archie Brown. Like I say, not afraid to get stuck in. Fred passes quickly to Amrabat. Amrabat crossing the ball forward to Szymanski. Saved by Truban, the goalkeeper for Benfica. That was the first real attempt on goal by Fenerbahce. What a time to do it. 11 minutes until half-time. But Benfica are looking to make a break for it themselves. Pavlidis denied by the Fenerbahce defenders. The ball's being passed back to Arsnes to Rios. Now back with Arsnes back with Rios. Rios trying to get around Amrabat. He passes down the field to down the wing it goes, I should say, to Dahl to Florentino Luis passing the ball this time to I couldn't see who it was. It might have been at Kozlu, but nothing. But nothing comes of it, and after 35 minutes, it's still Fenerbahce 0, Benfica 0, and that effort on goal just palmed away easily by Edri Bayat. I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of my nominations for player of the match later on. So we wait for the game to be resumed. It's a goal kick to be taken by Edri Bayat, and Fenerbahce have had 2 attempts on goal. Benfica 4, and only 1 on target for Fenerbahce. It's Luis to Arsnes to Dedic. Now back with Truban in goal. Ball now cleared forward by Dahl, but headed by Mulder. Forced over the line. The ball is forced over the line though by Benfica, and so it will be a Fenerbahce throw. Now Jose Mourinho starting to show just a bit more animation on the touchline, and I am surprised that Bruno Lage has managed to stay calm throughout all this. Throw-in taken by Fenerbahce, caught by Skriniar, the captain. Now the ball being forwarded to the far right, and Brown intercepted by Benfica. One of the players claiming that he was impeded, but the referee is not listening. Puts his finger to his ear, and that was Dedic who caught Brown. So So a slight VAR check, but that's been easily dealt with. So no harm done. As Oosterwolde to Amrabat. Amrabat down the wing it goes. To Semedo. But caught at the last moment by Truban. Semedo, lovely effort, and it was almost headed in by a Nesri, but saved by Truban. In fact, both goalkeepers have been right on the ball this evening, and the ball is set to be thrown over the line by Dedic. I should say it's a throw in to Benfica. Dedic throws to Luis, and the ball is picked up by Oosterwolde to Szymanski, but down goes a player on the ground. I can't really make out who it is, and it's difficult to see who it is. I can now make it out. It's Luis. So it is a free kick to Benfica. And to take the free kick is Silva. Silva stands behind the ball. And that is a lovely forward cross, but intercepted really well by number 37, Skriniar, the Fenerbahce captain. And something has happened. That was between Arsnes and Semedo, I think it was. Luis to Dedic. Now the ball's been picked up by Benfica, and it was almost goal bound by Aktürkoğlu, but he was in fact just wide. And Aktürkoğlu not happy with the results. And the referee has blown his whistle for a corner, and it will be Arsnes that will take the corner, as the referee now has a word with Duran. Remember, he is on a yellow card, so any more bad behaviour from him and he'll be sent off. So Arsnes gets ready to take the corner. He raises both of his arms. The ball goes into the penalty area, and Silva had the final touch of the ball, but it just did not go in. Or was it Otamendi? And Pavlidis now having a talk with the referee. Was somebody impeded in there? It might well have been. Silva might have just been caught out, and clearly the Benfica players aren't too happy. But it's just going to be a goal kick, and with just under 5 minutes to go until half time, it's still Fenerbahce 0, Benfica 0. Ball now being thrown to Rios to Baranechea down the wing to Dahl, and Dahl almost caught Ejri Bayat off guard, but the Fenerbahce keeper was not fooled. And the ball is Szymanski up the wing to Brown. He's pressing the ball into Fenerbahce's attacking third, but well intercepted and dealt with by Benfica. Given away rapidly to Fenerbahce, and that was Oosterwolde with the shot. Oosterwolde almost makes it 1-0 for Fenerbahce. And it will be Semedo that will take the throw for Fenerbahce. Semedo passing to number 18, Mulder, And Mulder almost sent it in towards goal, but it was saved by Truban. Truban to Arsnes. Arsnes to Luis to Barrenechea, and the ball is crossed over the line. Given away though to Skriniar to Mulder to Ejri Bayat. So Ejri Bayat sends the ball out of the goal, picks up by Duran, intercepted by Benfica. Now it's back with Fenerbahce, and on the ball is Skriniar. We've just got under two. We've just got less than 2.25 minutes to go, and this first half has still not seen any goals, as a Szymanski was brought down by Kozlu. This was almost a beautiful finish by Amrabat. I mean Oosterwolde, I should say. So it's Oosterwolde to Amrabat. Now up the wing to Brown on the far side. Brown crossing the ball down towards Duran, but Ruban was there to save it for Benfica. Now on the ball is Dahl, or was it? No, it was Rios. But a pressing concern is Duran. Jose Mourinho understandably unhappy, and the referee has called a halt to proceedings, and Duran pushed down inside the penalty area. And that was a blow and that was an elbow to the face. Is that going to result into a penalty for Fenerbahce? And it was Otamendi who elbowed him in the face. And Duran appears to be all right. He's just stunned. The physios come to have a look at him. We are going to go overtime. We're going to go over time in the final minutes of the first half. So we are looking at half time a bit later than expected. As Otamendi rushes the check on the situation, the referee talking to the men in the VAR room. He's signaling for someone to come over. Duran gets up onto the pitch. He seems to be all right. We've only got 1 minute of added time, so I'd say that's a fairly wise decision. It would be pointless to bring up something so serious so close to half time. And on the ball is Barrenechea to Luis. Now back with Otamendi. Otamendi to Rios. The ball was almost caught by Arsnes. 20 seconds to go, and we've got a throw in. It will be Brown to take the throw. Takes his time. He throws to Amrabat. Amrabat to Skriniar, and he tries to press the ball forward, and the referee blows his whistle. It's half time at the Ulka. It's half time at the Ulka Stadium. Very exciting first half it was. Neither side willing to give an inch and tries to score. And so after 45 minutes, it's Fenerbahce 0, Benfica 0.
Thank you very much there, Nicholas Jones, and we'll be back with him very, very shortly to get his overall thoughts on that first half. I think he will just take a moment or two's break. Well, we just take a break ourselves in just a second or two as we'll go through some scores before we do go for our break. We're into first half stoppage time in some of the matches, half time scoring one of the other matches taking place this evening, plus some results from yesterday. Let's take a look at the results then in the Champions League from yesterday. Some latest scores in the matches today, as we can see the scores on our screens right now in front of us. The scores from yesterday were Fenerbahçe 1, Karabag 3, Rangers 1, Club Brugge 3, Red Star Belgrade 1, Paphos 2 is the latest score, is the results from yesterday. Coming up towards half-time in all of these matches as well, it is Basel 1, Copenhagen 0, FC Copenhagen 0 to give him the English title. Bodo Glimt 3, Sturm Graz 0, Celtic 0, Karate 0 and Fenerbahce 0, Benfica 0, as you heard there, with Nicholas Jones this evening. Let's take a look then at some League One scores from yesterday and some results from today. And so a result from today so far in League One. It is AFC Wimbledon 0, Cardiff City 1, Huddersfield Town 2, Doncaster Rovers 0, Luton Town 1, Wigan Athletic 0, Mansfield Town 2, Blackpool 0, Northampton Town 0, Lincoln City 1, Peterborough United 0, Barnsley 1. In League 1, other scores continued. Plymouth Argyle 0, Leyton Orient 1, Port Vale 1, Stevenage 2. Rotherham vs Burton Albion postponed as Burton were in action in the EFL Cup. Stockport County 1, Bradford City 2, Wycombe Wanderers 0, Exeter City 1, Bolton Wanderers 0, Reading 0. It's going up towards half-time. It is now half-time there in EFL League 1, as you can see there on your screens. Let's take a look then at the scores in League 2 then. It is Newport County 0, Salford City 1, Accrington v Tranmere postponed. Tranmere were the team taking on Burton Albion in the EFL League Cup yesterday. Bristol Rovers 0, Oldham Athletic 0, Chatham Town 1, Bromley 2, Colchester 1, Cambridge United 2, Crawley Town 1, Milton Keynes Dons 1. Other scores to give you as well: Fleetwood Town 1, Crewe Alexandra 4, Gillingham 4, Chesterfield 1, Harrogate Town 1, Barrow 0, Swindon Town 0, Barnet 2, Walsall 0, Grimsby 1, and at half-time scoreline is the bottom one. It's Notts County 2, Shrewsbury Town 1 in League 2 as well. And if you just go back to the Champions League, there are the scores there. All at half-time now, those scorelines. So it's Basel 1, Copenhagen 0, Bodo Glimt 3, Sturm Graz 0, Celtic 0, Karate 0, and our match tonight, Fenerbahce 0, Benfica 0 is the scorelines there. We're just going to take a quick break right now from our coverage, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes to get the thoughts of Nicholas Jones on this first half action we have seen tonight. Half-time then in the Champions League playoff first leg is Fenerbahce 0, Benfica 0. welcome back to our coverage here on the Commentary Hub in the Champions League playoff first leg. It's Fenerbahçe 0, Benfica 0 at half time in the Champions League. It's the first leg of the playoffs this afternoon, this evening, this morning, all afternoon, depending where you are in the world listening to our coverage today. I'm Russ Brennan, your host for this evening's match, and I've got your commentator alongside me, Nicholas Jones. And Nicholas, what did you make to that first half? Some good chances for both sides, but neither side have yet to break the deadlock in this game. But some evenly matched sides.
Indeed, there were, Russ. There was just nothing. There was just nothing in between them. I think the player that caught my attention most for Fenerbahce was Archie Brown. He wasn't afraid to quote me, get stuck in. Although Szymanski had a couple of chances himself as well. Enzo Barrenechea, Richard Rios, and even Florentino Luis impressed for me in Benfica's lineup. We're still yet to see more of an attacking. We're still to see more attacking from Vangelis Pavlidis, the Greek international, and also Kerim Aktürkoğlu had his chances as well. But I have to say the real ones that stood out were both goalkeepers, Ifran Ecri-Bayat and Anatoly Truban.
Yes, absolutely. Some cracking saves from both of those keepers. Just want to bring up just a leading 1-0 against FC Copenhagen. A late goal went in that game in the end in the first half. So at half time there, it is currently Basel 1, FC Copenhagen 1 of goal in first half stoppage time there for FC Copenhagen. It's into the second half in League 2 and Notts County now, leading 3-1 against Shrewsbury Town. We'll give you the result of that game at full time there. So just an update on the Basel game in the Champions League this evening, which we'll give you the results of the game at full time. But Nicholas, going back to this game, who's been your standout player thus far in this match for either Benfica or Fenerbahce? If we're going to give one for each side, let's start with Fenerbahce. Who's been your standout player in that first half for Fenerbahce?
I would have to say at the moment, I would have to say for Fenerbahce, Archie Brown. He's not afraid to take on anybody. And in terms of Benfica, I would have to say Frederick Arsnes. I'm surprised I'm managing to pronounce that name. Arsnes sounds like a Sesame Street character, in my opinion. But Arsnes did really well with the ball, and plus he was a bit of a team player. Did well to supply the ball to Aktürkoğlu more than once.
Yes, absolutely, Nicholas. There've been some good chances in this game, and like we've touched upon, both goalkeepers, Ifran Ecri-Bayat for Fenerbahce and Antonio Truban for Benfica have been on top form. And Nick, in my opinion, if it wasn't for those, we would have had some goals this evening, some really good saves from them. It just kept this game a 0-0 and a fairly balanced game. Would you agree with that assessment, Nicholas, that both keepers have kept the team, their respective sides in this game so far?
Yes, I would think so. Plus also, the fact that Fenerbahce are able to hold Benfica at the moment is just impressive because Benfica, as we mentioned at the start of the show, they won their last 5 matches. So if this first leg is anything to go by, it'll probably be even closer and dramatic in the second leg.
Yes, absolutely, Nicholas, absolutely. I just want to ask you a quick question as well as we get ready for the second half, kicking off very, very shortly in Istanbul between Fenerbahce and Turkey, just approaching 11 o'clock in the evening over in just gone 11 o'clock over there right now. I just want to ask you a quick question, Nicholas. Jose Mourinho and Bruno Lage, which of the two managers would you say would be the happier of the two sides going in a 0-0 at half time?
Well, judging by the body language shown in the first half, Bruno Lage appeared more relaxed and calm. Jose Mourinho, hard to really tell what it really was for him because he had more of a sterner look on his face. But I'd have to say it could benefit Bruno Lage a bit more. But with Jose Mourinho, who knows what he's going to say?
Yes, absolutely, Nicholas. There's some really good players on the bench who could potentially turn this game for both sides. In terms of Fenerbahçe, you've looked at Under, Beratug, Ilmaz as well, potentially. Aiding as well, potentially could change the game. And for Benfica, you look at Schneiderlin on the bench, Leandro Santos, Goncalo, Oliveira as well, Enrique Araujo could potentially change it, Franjo Ivanovic as well. So just is the ones where you could potentially change things there. I can see the two teams getting two players coming back out, ready to come back out for the second half onto the field of play in Istanbul in our match this evening between Fenerbahce and Turkey. So without further ado, let me hand you back over to your match commentator for the second half of Benfica. Making their way out of the tunnel. It's time to hand over to Nicholas Jones.
Thanks, Russ. So, as we get ready for the second half, all the management taking their seats and the players and match officials making their way back out onto the pitch. We'll just wait to see if there are any half-time substitutions, because that does happen more often than not. Milan Skriniar, the captain, having a bit of a drink. John Duran having a bit of a drink and trying to keep cool as well. It is a warm night in Istanbul as everybody gets ready to kick off the second half. So the lineup so far, it's Ifran Ejribayat in goal for Fenerbahce, then Jadon Ustavalde, Milan Skriniar, the captain. We'll let you know who the rest of the players are, as it's going to be Benfica that will kick us off for the second half. And remember, they are wearing all red as the referee blows the whistle. And we are underway for the second half in this first leg match at the Ulker Stadium between Fenerbahce and Benfica. So it's Fenerbahce with the early advantage, although Benfica trying to win the ball back, and they have done so with Richard Rios. So Rios passing to Antonio Silva. Silva up the wing to Nicolas Otamendi, the captain, but taken by Turkey. That was the Sofyan Amrabat, the big Moroccan. In fact, I shouldn't really have said that. Now on the ball is Fred. Fred back to Amrabat. Amrabat down the wing to Brown. Brown under pressure from Frederick Osnes. Another ball being passed around by Fenerbahce. Milan Skriniar. Skriniar back to Amrabat. Now Skriniar again. Skriniar biding his time a bit, it seems. Now it's with Jadon Ustavalde. Ustavalde up the wing, or up the pitch, I should say, to John Duran, but retaken by Benfica. And now on the ball, on the near side is Amar Dedic. Dedic gives the ball away to Fenerbahce. On the ball is the captain Skriniar. Skriniar passing to Amrabat. Amrabat back towards Skriniar. Skriniar passing the ball into the goal area. for Truban, who has won the Ukrainian Premier League with Shakhtar Donetsk. And the ball has been passed out of the goal, but given to Benfica. Now on the ball is Sebastian Szymanski. Szymanski to Osterwolde. Osterwolde concedes the ball to Benfica. It's Luis with the ball in play. Now on the ball, still with Benfica, but Amrabat has fouled Richard Rios, and that could well be a yellow card for Amrabat, but the referee says play on. Now on the ball is back with Benfica. It's with Vangelis Pavlidis. Pavlidis still with the ball for Benfica, but given away to Fenerbahce. The ball now being passed out of goal to Archie Brown. Archie Brown passing to Osterwolde, but it goes over the line for a throw. Jose Mourinho showing some positive body language. He feels sure that they are playing things the right way now. On the ball this time is Amar Dedic for Benfica. Almost caught by Arsnes, but it went through his legs and it was given back to Fenerbahce through Brown. Now on the ball is Skriniar, the captain. Semedo, Fred. And Fred passing the ball around, but punched out of the goal by Truban. And it's retaken by I couldn't see who. On the ball this time, on the ball back with Osterwolde for Fenerbahce. It's Amrabat. Amrabat to Osterwolde. Osterwolde was aiming for Szymanski. Now the ball's been passed back down the wing to Osterwolde. Osterwolde, Brown, he's in the near side, in towards the penalty area. Cleared away though by Benfica, a long range shot by Fenerbahce, but it's way over the crossbar. That was by Nelson Semedo, the former Wolves man. And that was a very disappointing effort, in my opinion. No way was it going to go in, but a good try by him nonetheless. 5 minutes into the second half, it's still Fenerbahce 0, Benfica 0. And now the ball's still rapidly being played around. It's with Silva, Antonio Silva to Amrabat to Osterwolde. Ball has been retaken by Dedic, but the referee has blown his whistle for something, and it was a foul by Luis on Fred, pulling on his shirt, not allowed. Although I'm surprised he was only given a verbal caution. So Amrabat to Fred to Jadon Osterwolde. Osterwolde almost loses the ball to Arsnes, but he carries on playing. That was good forward play by Osterwolde. Had he gone in even further, he could well have set up a chance for goal. And as it stands, it's still Fenerbahce 0, Benfica 0, and the ball now being played down the wing. I mean down the field, I should say. And down has gone a Benfica player. We'll try and make him out in a moment or two. That was Pavlidis I think he might have got something. I think it might have got something as oh yes, a boot stud to the eye. That looked very nasty indeed. He appears to be all right, but that looked very painful. Not sure whether the stud actually made contact with his eye. It might have been just above it. But anyway, Aguias clearing the ball. Truban clearing the ball out. Towards Benfica. Now on the ball is Sebastian Szymanski. Szymanski to Nelson Semedo. Semedo under pressure from Thomas Dahl. Semedo dodges, but he just can't find a way through into the penalty area. Sofyan Amrabat to Fred. Fred passing the ball around, but cut out by the Benfica defence. And after 53 minutes have been played, it still remains Fenerbahce 0, Benfica 0. A corner has been given to Fenerbahce, and it will be Sebastian Szymanski that will take the corner for the Super League side, and that's a cross out to Brown. Brown going for the cross into the penalty area, but Benfica were ready for him. But the ball still remains with Fenerbahce. Ball now being passed out to Aguias. Aguias crossing the ball towards Brown, and now it's Brown towards Szymanski, but well intercepted by Benfica. And the ball is now with Kerim Aktürkoğlu. And with Aktürkoğlu down on the ground, I think he may well have bruised his arm, which is nothing in terms of football injuries. And I'm also wondering if that was a ball to a hand in something. I couldn't see if it was or not, but down went Aktürkoğlu. He appears to be all right. That's good news. And it will be a Benfica free kick. And to take the free kick will be either Kerim Aktürkoğlu or Samuel Dahl. Yes, it is Samuel Dahl. I thought it was Thomas Dahl, but anyway. The referee gets ready to blow his whistle as we wait for the free kick to occur. So the free kick will be Dahl, as Dahl sends the ball into the penalty area, headed away by Fenerbahce. And now on the ball is Szymanski. Szymanski passing quickly to Oosterwolde. Oosterwolde, no, it was Duran. And with a powerful shot, too powerful in my opinion, was Sofyan Amrabat. I think he just wanted to clear the ball away. Anyway, he slammed it. He slammed it over the bar, and that ball went straight into next week. And so to take the goal kick is Anatoly Truban. So it's Truban clearing the ball away, but given away to Benfica. Now on the ball is Archie Brown. Ball now being crossed forward to that was Dedic. That was Dedic, I think it was. Yes, it was. Throw in to be taken by Fenerbahce, and that will be Sofyan Amrabat. Brown, I do apologise. It's Archie Brown. Archie Brown will be the man to take the throw, which he does. Brown throws. And now on the ball is Antonio Silva. Silva to Duran. Now back on the ball is Silva for Benfica. He passes rapidly. He passes to Dedic. Dedic in towards the 18-yard box, but caught by Samuel Dahl. Arsnes to Enzo Baranechea. Benfica still trying to press the ball into the penalty area, but cleared away by Mert Muldur of Fenerbahce. Throw in by Benfica. The ball ends up at the feet of Florentino Luis. So it's Luis to Actacoglu, Antonio Silva. No sign of any substitutions as of yet. We'll let you know as and when they do come on. Actacoglu given away to Semedo. And the ball now sent out of the goal by Truban. Or should that be Edri Bayat? It's Duran to Brown, but kicked over the line by Richard Rios. He clearly wanted his side out of danger, but it was only averted. Throw-in taken by Fenerbahce. Sofian Amrabat to Nelson Semedo. Ball is back with Amrabat inside. Ball is back with Amrabat inside. Just inside their attacking third. They're trying to press even further forwards. Benfica doing well to hold them at bay, but Fenerbahce still pressing on. The ball is now with Brown. Brown to Osterwolde. Osterwolde has impressed me throughout this match, as well as some of the other players I've mentioned. Amrabat, Brown under pressure from Arsnes to Osterwolde, but the ball is forced over the line, and we're very close to the hour mark. As Jose Mourinho pacing up and down, just having a look at one of the Benfica substitutes getting ready to come on. We'll let you know who it is as and when we can. So it's Amrabat with the long-range shots inside the penalty area, and the ball bouncing over the line. Offside. The flag goes up. A player is judged to have been offside. We'll see who it is. It's Duran, or is it Szymanski? It might well have been Duran. So we'll wait for play to restart after 60 minutes. It still remains Fenerbahce 0, Benfica 0. So the ball now cleared out of the goal. And towards Arsnes, it's Arsnes to Pavlidis. Pavlidis back towards Arsnes, and cleared off the line by Ifran Edribayat. A well-timed save from Edribayat. The best save I've seen throughout this match. In fact, it wasn't. It was deflected by Mert Muldur. And it will be a corner to Benfica. Samuel Dahl lining the ball up as the Fenerbahce players look to take their defensive places inside the goal area. The ball now is passed around by Benfica, kept out of harm's way by Amrabat. One being crossed down to Duran, but intercepted briefly by Benfica. In fact, it was rapidly taken by Amar Dedic, and 84% passes accuracy by Fenerbahce. Benfica have 87%, and they're closing further towards the goal. On the ball this time is Actacoglu. It's Actacoglu on the ball, but given away to Nelson Semedo, as Milan Skriniar tries to encourage the home fans to cheer them a bit more, as Edri Bayat passes the ball to Skriniar. He passes back to Ejribayat. Ejribayat clearing the ball away from the goal. It goes over the halfway line, but given away to Benfica. And going after the ball to take it back for Fenerbahce was Jadon Oosterwolde. It's Brown. Brown back to Oosterwolde. Now on the ball is Duran. Duran, the ball still over the halfway line. The referee's going to have a look at him, and there must have been a bit of contact by Rios, and Rios has been given a yellow card. So given a yellow card is Richard Rios. Something must have happened. I couldn't fully make out what it was, but I feel sure that was definitely unwanted physical contact. I'm just going to have a look at this in more closer detail, and it was Silva who manhandled Duran, and I've got a feeling that Silva, and I have a feeling that's Baranachea. Anyway, he's being substituted for the Benfica. He's being substituted anyway for Benfica's number 9, Ivanovic. So Franjo Ivanovic coming on in place of Enzo Baranachea as receiving attention is Ifran Ejribayat, as the players now have a chance to take a drink or two, and the players still waiting for the chance to get themselves back into the game. Do not forget, you can follow us. You can subscribe to our YouTube channels at Commentary Live. You can also follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and on X, formerly known as Twitter. You can see the comments. You can see the link. You can see our channels being displayed across the screen right now as play is restarted. It's Oosterwolde with the ball, and he passes to Ifran Ejribayat. So it's Ejribayat, and we approach the 65th minute. It's Brown with the ball for Fenerbahce. He passes to Fred. Fred crossing the ball up the wing to Jadon Oosterwolde in towards the goal area, but kept away by Benfica. Fenerbahce now having another go, and that was by Nelson Semedo, but it ended up in the arms of Anatoly Truban. So after 65.5 minutes, it's still Fenerbahce 0, Benfica 0. Something has surely got to give within the next 34 or so minutes, as Szymanski has gone down onto the ground, and that was a challenge from behind by Florentino Luis, and Luis clearly not happy. Trying to make his points across, but the referee was having none of it. Sensible decision in my view. And onto the pitch is going to come on another substitute. And who is he going to take the place of? And Johan Duran makes way for number 94, Anderson Talisca, the Brazilian. So Talisca makes his way on. To the pitch. Free kick to be taken by Fenerbahce. The ball goes into the penalty area, saved again by Anatoly Truban. It was by Yusuf En-Nesyri. We haven't seen much of him. We haven't seen much of him so far tonight. And now on the ball was briefly Jadon Osterwolde, but he was fouled from behind by Arsnes. Sorry. And it looked to me as though he started it, but it was almost finished by Arsnes, and that was a really close effort by Fenerbahce, almost 1-0 to the home side. Now on the ball is Amrabat, but forced over the line, and it will be a throw-in or free kick. I couldn't really tell, but in the book for dissent is Florentino Luis. So Luis with the yellow card for dissent, and in fact it was for a further foul on Szymanski, but I have a stronger feeling that the yellow card was for dissent. Sofian Amrabat to Skriniar. Now back with Amrabat. Free kick to Fenerbahce. Amrabat takes the free kick. He passes quickly to Osterwolde. Osterwolde towards Brown on the near side. Osterwolde with the forward cross, and after the ball goes Talisca, but kept away by Ejri Bayat. Ball being crossed up into the air towards Talisca, but intercepted by Benfica. Arsnes to Pavlidis. Pavlidis back towards Arsnes. It's Arsnes it was Arsnes towards Actor Kozlu, but well kept out by the but kept out well by Ejri Bayat. So it's Ejri Bayat to take the goal kick. He passes to Dedic. Now on the ball this time is Semedo, but Semedo is fouled from behind, and we'll just wait to see who will be next. Sorry, I'm getting a bit lost here. Fred to Archie Brown. Brown to Jadon Osterwolde. Now back on the ball is Anderson Talisca, but Talisca has been fouled by Luis, and Luis is sent off. And Florentino Luis is sent off. Hardly surprising, given his earlier rough conduct. But a second yellow card. He tries to protest. The referee won't hear it, and that means he will miss the second leg between Benfica and Fenerbahce next Wednesday night. And that was a terrible foul. He shouldn't have done that. And the second yellow card, well deserved, in my opinion. But I'm not the only one who has an opinion. What's yours? Do please let me know whether he deserved it or not in the comments. As Luis walks away, I think one or two people are going to have really strong words with him. Not least Bruno Lage. He'll be calling him. He'll I'm sure be calling him out for being stupid and reckless. As play resumes, on the ball was Amrabat. Amrabat to Nelson Semedo. And the ball was almost retaken by Kerim Aktakozlu. Corner being cut. The ball is now passed to Fred. Fred. Back to Amrabat. Now the ball's being crossed into the goal area. Fred! Kept out of the way by Benfica. It's back. It's still with Benfica. It looks to me as though someone had the last touch of the ball, but the referee getting into a bit of an argument with some of the Benfica defenders. What the argument is about, I can't make out at the moment. Otamendi already on a yellow card. I think he was shooting his mouth off at the ref. We'll just try and have another look. The ball was chested away, and it actually ended up in the hands of another player, but the referee had already blown by then. And we've just had some breaking news. Arsenal agree fee with Crystal Palace for Eberechi Eze, and the total package believed to be £60 million. So this will please a lot of Gunners fans. Meantime, Arsenal with the ball, and on the ball again is Rios. So Rios passing, crossing up the field to Pavlidis, to Dedic. Benfica still managed to keep hold of the ball, but now retaken by Fred. Fred to Sofyan Amrabat. And it's Amrabat with the ball for Fenerbahce. And the ball just bounces over the line. Or does it? No. It's just kept inside, but the referee doesn't think so. And Bruno Lage has been given a yellow card. I don't believe it. That must surely be for dissent. And Russ agrees with me. Florentino deserving his red card. So 2 silly challenges to get a yellow card. But if anybody can tell me what Bruno Lage's yellow card was, if it was dissent or not, please let me know. As the ball is now being passed around Benfica. It's Arsnes. Almost passed the ball forward to another player, but defended really well by Fenerbahce. Fenerbahce passing the ball. That was Milan Skriniar, the captain. Now taken again by Benfica. It's Bruno somebody, and it's almost sent in by Arsenal. So Benfica showing that Benfica doing really well despite being a man down. And with 15 minutes left, there's still nothing to choose between them. It's still Fenerbahce 0, Benfica 0. As it will be a corner this time to Benfica, and to take the corner will be Aktakozlu. So it's Aktakozlu to take the corner for the Eagles. But hold it! A substitution is going to be made, and it will be for Benfica, I think. And another substitution is going to be made as well. So 2 substitutions as Karim Aktakozlu and Pavlidis are out for Fenerbahce. So Benfica. So Aktakozlu and Pavlidis are out, and taking their place will be number 18. Leandro Barreiro and Thiago Gouveia, number 47. So to take the corner is Arsnes. So So Arsnes with the corner into the goal area, saved easily by Ifran Ejribayat. And thanks to his efforts, it's still Fenerbahce 0, Benfica 0, as we enter the 77th minute. On the ball is Brown. So it's Brown. Ball now being passed again to Osterwolde. Osterwolde to Archie Brown. Archie Brown is on my shortlist for player of the match. That is for sure. And down on the ground is Leandro. I'm just going to take another look at that. It was indeed Leandro, and about to come on for Fenerbahce. We'll just see who's being replaced, and it's Mert Muldur, and coming on is Oguz Aydin as he makes his way onto the pitch. So Aydin could be the player. So Aydin could be the player to score. Could be the player to score for Turkey. No, Fenerbahce. And the ball now caught again by Leandro Santos. And now on the ball is Anderson Talisca. Talisca pressing in towards the 18-yard box, and that was almost sent in, but he was just a bit too wide. He'll be disappointed with that. But the Fenerbahce supporters do not appear to mind. And that was quite bad. And that was a very poor attempt on goal. Or should that be Barriero? Yes, it was Barriero. Anyway, on the ball this time. Anyway, on the ball is Semedo, almost picked up by Barriero, and he's passed rapidly to Ivanovic. So it's Sofiat Amrabat. Amrabat passing to Osterwolde. So it's Osterwolde up the wing to Elson Semedo. Semedo to Talisca. Talisca almost loses it. Talisca almost passed it to Amrabat, but Benfica briefly had it through Ivanovic. It's with Sofyan Amrabat. Amrabat, Semedo, and Semedo passing to Aydin. It's Aydin, but headed away by Arsnes, and it was almost sent in by Talisca. And has it gone in? It has! Fenerbahce break the deadlock through but hold up, it's offside, the goal won't count, it's been chalked off. So let me try. So I'm going to try and piece this together, and I can definitely make out that the number 19, Youssef N. Nasseri, was definitely offside. No way was that going to count. So we are back 2-0. But hold it. We're going to VAR for a possible goal check. May the goal count after all. And the referee signal it, and the referee raising his hand. I still can't make out if he's going anyway. The check is over. The goal won't stand. So that confirms it. We're back to 0. Ball headed up into the air by Milan Skriniar, and two Benfica players have gone down. One of which is Dahl. The other is the captain Otamendi. We'll try and see what happens. And that was an unnecessary barge by Anderson Talisca. I was almost singing his praises a couple of minutes ago. But that was just a terrible foul. Talk about hero to villain. But I think I might be over exaggerating a bit here. So the 10th, 11 by Fenerbahce, 9 by Benfica, and we have less than 8 minutes to go. In fact, we're approaching 7 minutes, and it's still Fenerbahce 0, Benfica 0. So Richard Rios to Semedo. Semedo given away to Arsnes. It's Frederick Arsnes with the ball, but sent over the line by Semedo. And ball will be thrown over the line by Dahl. So Dahl throws to Rios, but the ball goes over the line, and this was what happened earlier with the offside. His arm was just fractionally offside, and the technology use is indeed justified. No way was he going to score in that position. So Duran, or should that be Semedo? Yes, it is Semedo. Semedo to I couldn't see who it was. Back to Semedo. Amrabat. Semedo once again. Semedo passing to Ustavalde. Now back with Semedo. Kept away briefly by Leandro Barreiro. Barreiro gives the ball away though to Fred. Fred to Skriniar. Skriniar to Amrabat. Amrabat towards Duran. Kept defended again by Benfica. And if both sides want to score, they've got to do it. Right, they've got to do it pretty much now, because we're down to the last 5 minutes. Benfica are going to take the throw in, courtesy of Dedic. As Dedic throws towards Brown, and a player has gone down. It's Leandro Barreiro, and Barreiro clearly in pain. He's clutching his left shoulder. Ivanovic goes over to Bruno Lage to have a bit of a chat, and it was by Sebastian Szymanski who fouled him, and he's still on the ground as Fenerbahce make another substitute. Fred comes off, and on comes Irfan Can Kavici. So Irfan Can Kavici, the substitute for Fenerbahce, and I'm now going to have to start thinking about who my player of the match is. There are several I can think of, but I'll let you know who it is in the next lull of play within the next couple of minutes. As on the ball is Gouveia. Gouveia almost had a chance, but it was halted. Now on the ball was Dedic. Dedic forced away by Ustavalde. I think they they clashed just a moment ago. And Dedic now has a sore shoulder. And what with only 3 minutes to go, I think everyone appears to be tiring out. And that was nasty. Hard to tell who was at fault. The ball sent out of the way though by Brown. And it will be Dedic to take the throw for Benfica. He throws. Ball sent up into the air by Nasiri, and it ends up at the feet of Edri Bayat. Still, it's Fenerbahçe 0, Benfica 0. On the ball for Fenerbahçe is Nelson Semedo. Semedo passing to Amrabat, back towards Semedo. Semedo almost passed to Szymanski, but he was intercepted by Leandro Barreiro. On the ball is Ustavalde. Ustavalde to Brown. Now on the ball is Skriniar, or was it? No, it was Kevici. Kevici up the field to Semedo. Now on the ball is Amrabat. Amrabat into the 18, into the goal area, but halted by Benfica. It's Szymanski inside the goal area. The referee says no penalty. Play on. And so we are now down to the last 60 seconds. The ball goes over the line. I'm going to name my player of the match, and it's going to be now. In fact, it's going to be the Fenerbahçe goalkeeper, Irfan Edri Bayat. So Edri Bayat, our player of the match, as sponsored by Football Live, and I'm being told by my producers to actually send it to him before I make it. Anyway, so Irfan Edri Bayat, my player. So Irfan Edri Bayat, my player of the match. And we are now down to the last 20 seconds of normal time. The ball has been headed by Arsnes, and this could well result in a free kick. Here you can just see the player of the match going along across the screen right now. And 4 minutes of stoppage time have been added as we enter the dying minutes of the game. So to take the goal kick is Anatoly Truban. So Truban intercepted by Skriniar. Skriniar to Semedo. Semedo to Ustavalde. Ustavalde was almost caught by Anderson Talisca, and now going for it was Kevici, but in fact it was actually forced away by one of the Benfica defenders. Corner to Fenerbahçe. Can they get a goal out of this? And a bit of a scuffle going on inside the goal area. Ustavalde is just pushed Barreiro down onto the ground. So Ustavalde now has a yellow card, and he deserved that. Barreiro looked like he was going to retaliate, but sensibly Truban held him back, and so the corner is taken by Fenerbahçe, but headed away by Nicolas Otamendi, and we are after almost a minute, 2 minutes have been played of second half stoppage time. Nothing is decided. It's still 0-0, and on the ball is Amrabat to Brown, and now the ball's still being passed around to Oosterwolde. But retaken by Brown, and I can see that Amar Dedic is on the ground as well. Somebody must have fouled him, and so too is Brown. And a bit of and another argument again has broken out. 2 players have been booked, one of which is Antonio Silva. So Antonio Silva for Benfica on a yellow card, and I can see that somebody from Fenerbahçe is getting a yellow card as well, and it is Irfan Can Kavici. So Kavici Kavici on a yellow card as well, and that was and Dedic was forced down, and Brown went down as 2. I couldn't see if they were involved. It might have been just for dissent. Kavici. I've been saying his name wrong, and we are now down into the last 30 seconds. It looks like we are going to go overtime. In that as well. Is there a chance, perhaps, for a last-minute goal? You wouldn't think so, but more surprising things have happened in football over the years. Semedo, the ball goes over the line on the far side to Duran. Now back to Semedo, but the ball goes over the line. Surely the final whistle has got to blow. We are just over 4 minutes into last minute stoppage time, but we have a corner, and Kavici will be the player to take the corner for Fenerbahçe. Can Fenerbahçe pull something last minute out of the hat? Missed by El-Nesiri. That has surely got to be the last chance for anyone to score a goal. It's only going to be a matter of time before the referee blows the whistle. And stepping back to take the goal kick is Anatoly Truban. So Truban gets ready to take the goal, and he boots the ball out of the goal area, and play surprisingly goes on. But the referee has signalled full time, and after a really close and action-packed game, still nothing to choose between them, and it will be settled in Portugal next Wednesday. Full time at the Ulker Stadium. Fenerbahce 0, Benfica 0.
Thank you very much there, Nicholas Jones, and we'll be having the second leg as a delayed commentary next week here on the Commentary Hub, with some EFL Cup action taking place next week over on TCM2 JB Sports over there for that game next week in the EFL Cup between Grimsby Town and Manchester United. We'll have next midweek from the EFL Cup. We'll bring you that action coming for you. But in our match tonight, it's finished Fenerbahce 0, Benfica 0. We'll look at these scores on the doors from the leagues that have been playing this evening. Some Champions League action taking place this evening. Also, some League One and League Two action. So we'll round up all the scores from those matches very, very shortly for you to tell you about those. We'll give you the scores from the results from League One and League Two from this evening. In League One this evening is finished Bolton Wanderers 1, Reading won. Reading equalised in the second half to win a point at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium, which is the home of Bolton Wanderers. Into League Two then, and their result tonight has finished Notts County 4, Shrewsbury Town 1. The other scores, if you want to go back to listen to what the other scores were from yesterday, go back to half time of our coverage in this one. And in the Champions League, full-time scores to tell you about. I can tell you the goal which was given for Copenhagen to go 2-1 in front this evening was disallowed in the end following a VAR review. So that has finished 1-1 tonight going into the second leg. Bodo Glimt final up against Sturmgrass after the first leg this evening. Still playing at Celtic Park, where it is Celtic 0-0 with Arte in that game there. They're just coming up to the closing stages in that match this evening. We'll keep you the closing stages there. They're into 10 minutes of stoppage time there. They've played 7 minutes of stoppage time there, so we'll be on air till that result has come in this evening. And also our game, as you know, Fenerbahçe 0, Benfica 0 is the other scoreline there in the Champions League. We'll give you the full classified check for the Champions League as soon as the full-time whistle goes in the game between Celtic and Arte there as they're still playing on there. But we'll take our attention to tonight's game, which we have had for you this evening in the company of our good man Nicholas Jones, and just get his thoughts on the game. And Nicholas, despite it being 0-0, there were plenty of chances in that game there, Nicholas. Some good efforts as well. What did you make to the game tonight, and do you think that was a fair result on reflection?
On reflection, I'd say 0-0 was indeed a fair result. But one question that Benfica have got to answer is who are they going to replace instead of Florentino Luis? Because before he got sent off, he was one of the people that impressed me. Along with quite a few others. Frederick Arsnes did his bit as well for Benfica. But I'd say that possibly the big talking point has got to be the disallowed goal from Youssef En-Nesyri. I was quite direct in saying that he wasn't in the right position to score. He was well ahead of the last defender. Others may disagree about it, but what do you make of the En-Nesyri disallowed goal?
Well, for me, Nicholas, I think you call it spot on. It was just offside, and as it showed you in the semi-automated offsides, which they use in the European competitions. And for me, I believe the officials got that one spot on. I think and he just held his run a little bit more and gone as soon as the ball was played. It would have been offside. We went trying to go ahead of the last member, but the defenders held their line perfectly and just caught him offside, which earned Benfica a 0-0 draw there, because otherwise they would have lost out there. And I think tonight, despite it being 0-0, I must have to say it's been a brilliant performance from both teams. They both put everything into the game and left everything out on the pitch, and that's what you want as a commentator to see, and the broadcast to see both teams go for it and leave everything out on the pitch. The fans of both teams would like to see that as well. But for me, I think that game there was perfect to how they like to play, because when you look at it overall, Nicholas, that game there was a brilliant match and a brilliant matchup between two sides, which I think whoever goes through, whoever wins next week, the other team will have to have an off day, because both teams really put up a brilliant defensive performance tonight. And if both teams play like that again, I can see the game going the full distance to extra time and potentially even penalties next week, Nicholas, which I know for your sake you don't want that, probably won't want that to happen. But if it is like that, another excellent game like this, and he goes all the way with excellent football, you won't mind as long as someone wins in 90 minutes for you. But I think if he plays out that next, it's going to be end of night. He's going to go to extra time. Just let me, before we finish up in just a second, and we speak again to Nicholas on that there, just full time results in for the games this evening, and we'll just give you that now. And in the Champions League, the full classified scores from the Champions League for this midweek, first legs of the playoff matches. Fenerbahçe 1, Karabakh 3, Rangers 1, Club Brugge 3, Red Star Belgrade 1, Paphos 2, Basel 1, Copenhagen 1, Bodo Glimt 5, Sturm Graz 0. It's finished Celtic 0, Carter 0. So Celtic taking a 0-0 draw away from home. In that game there, it looks like they played a fantastic game there as well, Carter there. In Kazakhstan, and our match 0-0 as well. So only 2 0-0 draws in the competition in the first leg of the Champions League playoffs, Nicholas, and we covered one of them. So it's not that we just pick a game where there's no goals in the game. But Nicholas, I know you was nervous coming into this game. We've been a first European match that you've done since you joined us on the channel. But I just want to say to you, my friend, I thought, despite there being no goals and there were a lot of chances in the game, I thought you did a really good job tonight, Nicholson. I think you've covered everything brilliantly, and you've done a really good job, and you should be very proud of your commentary tonight, because you've done a really good job, my friend, and you're going to have a really good career out of it.
Oh, thanks very much. I just hope that this is the shape of things to come. I mean, I hope the recorded second leg goes really well, and I will of course also be watching the. I will of course be keeping an eye on who's getting what in the league phase. Don't forget, if anyone's interested in watching, the draw is next Friday.
Yes, next week. So that's when the draw is for the league phase. Next week, next Friday, which is the 29th of August, the league phase draw for the Champions League. And just a reminder for the breaking news that came through while we're on air, for the fans listening out there, of Arsenal or Crystal Palace. Arsenal and Crystal Palace have agreed a deal for Bichi Eze, total package of £60 million. Verbal agreement has been done now, and the only thing left to do is medical. Personal terms are not issue with Eze to Arsenal. He looked like he was going to go to Spurs, but Arsenal have hijacked that move and got the deal done in the end there to take him to the Emirates. Should all go to plan and everything gets signed off by, I think it's 12 o'clock on Friday, he could make his debut against Leeds United on Saturday for Arsenal. Eze and Leeds themselves have agreed a deal with AC Milan, and medical has already been passed for this one. Noah Okafor joined Leeds United. Fee worth €20 million total package, which is around about £17 million in English money. That's with bonuses included. He has already signed and agreed a 4-year deal with an option of a further year at Leeds United. Medical was completed earlier today. Club announcement from Leeds and AC Milan expected to arrive in the next 24 hours. So hopefully this time tomorrow night, Noah will be a Leeds player. And if everything goes to plan and he's signed by midday on Friday, Eze could make his debut for Arsenal against Leeds, and Okafor could make his debut for Leeds against Arsenal on Saturday evening in the Premier League. Well, just one final thing from me to ask you then, Nicholas, is after that game tonight, who would you say the happier manager would have been? Would it have been Jose Mourinho? Would it have been Bruno Lage? And for me, I think it probably would have been Bruno Lage, because Mourinho would probably be... No, I think it'd be Mourinho, because Bruno Lage would have been furious with the red card that was given in the game tonight.
Yes, I think Lars will be tearing his hair out because not only is he been given a yellow card, but his squad was also a centre player down. So I'd say a small taste of satisfaction for Jose Mourinho.
Yes, absolutely. And once again, thank you very much for tonight, Nicholas. Really good coverage and really good to work with you again. Big thanks to all our listeners as well. Hopefully you've enjoyed our coverage this evening. We'll keep you up to date with all the action there as soon as the game is over next week on the record. We'll probably go out on Thursday evening on the channel. And I just want to say on behalf of myself and Nicholas, thank you for listening to this one this evening. We'll be back with you the weekend with some more Premier League action here on the Commentary Hub, Storm FM, and my personal Twitch channel, which is RussPVenom_92. If you have listened tonight, we really do appreciate it. For myself, Russ and Nicholas, and all the team here at the Commentary Hub, thank you very much for listening. And we'll see you again soon at the weekend with Premier League action to come. Goodbye for now.